Hey everybody, it's Alexis with Create Your Future. I am back with a brand new video, a new success story, and also tips today about what not to do when you're manifesting, okay? Before I get started though, just a reminder for booking one-on-one coaching with me, one-on-one hypnosis with me, or accessing any of my pre-recorded audios, those are in the box below. And please, like always, like, comment, share, subscribe to our channel, share this information with people, especially if they're manifesting relationships or they're having some relationship issues, right? So you guys, let's talk today about what not to do when you're manifesting. Now, I have a client that inspired this video and then also next week's video because she came to me feeling burnt out with manifesting, frustrated, angry, irritated, and then asking this question, where the F is it? Okay, meaning her specific person, he wasn't showing up the way that she wanted him to. She was super frustrated, and that really propelled us into really changing it. She turned it around, and he came back differently because she changed herself. So I want to talk today about what not to do, which will then lead us to talk about what to do. And then next week's video is really, really, really about what to do. How do you focus on your mental diet and things like that? But what I want to say right now is this. If you're trying to, in your 3D reality, if you're trying to tell anyone how to treat you, meaning, or if you're trying to talk someone into a relationship also, because I've had a couple clients recently who are trying to do that in their reality and then manifesting at the same time, not getting any results. And then they were also in that frustrated place. I'll tell you guys, I wonder, it's like, summer's here, which is my favorite season. So I wonder if like a lot of us get kind of frustrated because summer's like a lot about love. Least if you're in, I think if you're in other parts of the world, it's not your summer right now, but I'm just saying for those of us that are in that part of the world, summer kind of ignites like couples doing things together, wearing summer clothing, summer feelings, summer colors, which are very light and very fun, flirty and airy. So if the season of the year, kind of like I see with Valentine's Day, as we approach the end of the year, Christmas, if this is your time of year that you struggle with, let's intend right now that you get in your most confident self, you get heightened self-esteem as you approach this season, and that this is your best summer ever, okay? With or without your specific person. So I've just noticed, I'm just saying, and it's not my job ever to, you guys, if you've worked with me, I always say my criticisms or my feedback, I should call it, is from a place of love, because I am just the messenger of how things work and how to change a relationship and how to turn things around, which I've helped so many people do that have had crazy, daunting, seemingly not going anywhere circumstances that they've changed through the usage of changing their self-concept, changing the specific person, and then changing, therefore, the relationship, okay? So let's go back to this client. She was frustrated, burnt out. She had done a bunch of manifesting stuff. She had done coaching with somebody else at a different place somewhere. And she really felt like nothing was happening. So she was thinking lots of thoughts of things are frustrating. And then that was leading her to communicate with her specific person and tell him what to do, tell him how to treat her. She was constantly bringing up the relationship talk, meaning, what are we? What's going on with us? Where do we stand? I feel uncomfortable. I want us to be together. Okay. So I want to say right now to everybody, don't do that. If you're coming from the place of wanting like a little bit of information about something, that it's okay to discuss where's the relationship at, but most likely you might be engaging in behaviors that feel like and look like it seem like a relationship. You don't have the relationship title, and therefore you're trying to talk the person into giving you what you want, okay? The thing is this, when we do that and we come about things that way, especially with love and relationships, you guys, it cancels it out and we don't get what we want. We end up having to get back on our mental diet if you know that you're manifesting it. And this whole thing happens, okay? So the workaround for that, just like I told this client, is you've got to calm down your frustrations, and we've got to stop saying and asking, where is it? Where the F is it? What's going on? Why isn't it here? Where is it? And really, really being in that frustrated place, because that was getting her into a place of like angry, irritated, frustrated momentum. And then it was causing her to take actions and have conversations about things she didn't even want to anyways, okay? So how do we turn that around? Number one is focusing on your self-concept and realizing somehow, some way that there is an insecurity within you or a lack of confidence within you that is trying to then therefore get the person to give you your sense of self-esteem, your sense of self-confidence, your sense of security. That's generally what's happening. And I've had people disagree with me in session, and then we end up agreeing because it does come down to that, right? You can be, and I want to say too today, like this client, you can be fully confident, successful in your career with money, and then you can have it be with love and relationships, like with men. She just always had issues of them not showing up with her, for her, with her, there in her reality. Not giving her the love and affection she wanted and not giving her the commitment. So she was trying to go at it like she would like as CEO of a company, and you're doing a marketing plan or doing something like a financial CFO or something. She was going at it with like, why aren't we doing this? What's going on? What's the solution? I want to solve the problem. So then you tell me that we're in a committed relationship. Okay. And this never worked. And she did it time and time again. Finally, push came to shove. And what ended up happening is that she was trying to tell him how worthy she was. Like, we work in a relationship. Don't you want to be with me? We have X, Y, and Z in common. We have A, B, C, D, E, F, G in common. You want kids. I want kids. We want to live in the same city. And guess what he said to her? He said, yes, I get it, but this is too much. I don't want to be talked into something. I don't appreciate you telling me how I need to think about things. And this makes me lose interest in you. Okay. Now she told me that I could share these details about it. All right. So just saying, this is not, it's always confidential information unless someone tells me that I can say things. All right. So I said, wow, okay, well, that's interesting feedback. I said, so do you think that you're trying to tell him what he thinks and tell him what he feels, and have other people told you this and this whole story that was being created? She said, well, yeah. And I said, okay, we got to stop it. Like you, and if you guys could see me when I'm in one-on-one sessions, I feel like I need a gavel sometimes to say, we've got to stop it. You have to stop it. You've got to stop it. You just can't do that anymore, right? Instead, we have to focus on establishing the sense of high-level self-confidence, self-value, self-worth, and true self-esteem, you guys. Now, true self-esteem and true self-confidence has nothing to do with anybody outside of you. It's not like we're trying to be so confident and I'm working on this and I'm manifesting my reality and therefore SP likes me and then it all works out. That's not the way to go about it. Cancel that stuff out. Your self-esteem, your self-confidence, and your self-belief and your self-value and your lovability in relationships needs to exist outside of the whole SP thing, outside of them. It needs to now be like, you guys, who you are. And I've said this in so many videos, who you're being, who you decide you are. Okay. And I say these things so friggin' adamantly in this video because I want each and every one of you to get this once and for all. Once and for all. Once and for all. So I intend for that. That if you're feeling doubtful today, if you're questioning, wondering, worried about your manifestation, worried about the manifestation of a relationship, bring all of that momentous energy back to you and your body and what you're creating, and focus on really thinking thoughts and being the version of you that already has self-esteem, that already has the self-confidence, that believes in herself or himself, and that is in that place. So like, let's imagine right now that you could just access that, right? So that means that the mental chatter slows down. There is no longer questioning, doubting, worrying, wondering, and focusing on the simple thoughts of, I am the confident version of me now. I'm learning to be that. But you guys, it's not just a bunch of affirmations. Yes, your thoughts create, your mental diet throughout the day is one of the most important things, but who you're deciding you're being, how you're deciding you show up in the world is the biggest thing. So another way that I had this client do this, which I think could be interesting for everybody, is I said to her, okay, how do you want him to be? We want him to be, and she said these things, which I've heard a lot: accountable, dependable, strong. I want him to be protective of me. I want him to want the relationship. I want him to do things for me. I want him to choose me. I want him to cherish me. I want him to treasure me. And I want him to pick me and choose me above all the rest. And I said, okay, So what I want us to do is turn that on you now. And I want you to choose yourself and you to be dependable and consistent with you and your thoughts about the relationship, and you to be the confident one, and you to be the one who is in that strong, self-empowered self-belief. Now, this is not like walking around as if you're putting on like a false sense of confidence. I want to say that too. Again, you guys, like I say things adamantly in videos, but this is not to get you in the place of like showing everybody you're confident, right? Because that's a sort of a falsified way that society tells us to have self-esteem, be confident, and go after what we want. It's different. The truly confident person has that established self within themselves, and other people therefore can't take it away from them, right? So to go back to what not to do, if you're doing these things, I want to encourage you to stop bringing up the relationship talk. Stop trying to talk yourself and defend yourself and prove yourself that you're worthy enough with your words, with the person in your reality for the relationship. Just stop doing it. Decide that it's no longer exciting. It's boring. You've lost interest in having to prove your value with your words. And instead, you're going to decide and think and be the valuable, worthy, amazing version of you. So stop talking about the relationship. Stop telling people how to treat you. And also stop trying to convince other people that it's right? So if you have people in your reality, family and friends who are not yet, because they will be, because you can manifest it, if they're not yet in approval, right? They don't agree about your specific person. Stop trying to talk about the whole thing. Stop. This video is all about what not to do. So I'm saying stop. Okay. If you need to talk to me about it individually, about your personal situation, which I do, that's my career here. It's my job. I will tell you what not to do, right? I will very rarely support people in talking themselves into their relationship, bringing up the relationship talk from the place of lack or needing to get what they want or to get their sense of security and safety. Remember that these things have to come from you first. Now, if we go back to the principles of Neville Goddard, everyone's you pushed out. So the more stable, safe, secure, confident that you feel about you, two things happen. Other people show up for you that way, and then they see you that way. People can't choose you if you don't choose you first. People can't be there for you if you're not there for you. People can't cherish you, which is a funny thing. People can't cherish you unless you cherish you, which just means like liking who you are and really, really being that though. Now, I hear all the people who I've heard before say, but I really like myself, Alexis. I love myself. I think I'm amazing. But do you really? I really want you to sit with this today, sit with this information and be like, okay, but does the situation with him or her, does it cause me to question my value? Does it cause me to hear a bunch of mental chatter that has me wonder of my worth, my confidence, and my ability to just move forwards, right? Because again, you want to have your self-concept is something that has very little to actually do with any specific person. Specific people in your reality show you what you can work on. But do you guys see the fly? There's a fly. I had a client last week that there was a huge bee, like a huge, like June bug that flew in here because I have my front doors open in my office. That was interesting. Okay. Because it really was very funny. Okay. So anyways, back on track. I go off on tangents. Okay. So do you really, really, really have that solidified sense of self-value, self-worth, self-esteem? We don't talk ourselves into relationships when we have that, because when we have that, we begin thinking they want to be with me. They like me. They're going to bring up the relationship talk with me. Now with your mental diet, we're trying to mimic all this to get you there. Right. But for now, let's just focus on what we're not going to do, guys. Let's agree together. Let's declare today, I am no longer going to talk people into and telling them how to treat me. I'm going to decide from within how people treat me. I'm going to focus on my mental diet, on my self-esteem and my sense of self-worth, and therefore focus different thoughts about people. Now, I had another client, this reminds me of, who manifested someone back like out of thin air that she fell in love with 10 years ago. Okay. He came back in this very miraculous, like cool, energetic way because of her focus. And she told me, she said, Alexis, I could have never manifested him back when I had that other self-concept because I couldn't think good thoughts about him. So you guys, like, it is just how it works. We have to think good, stable, consistent thoughts about us, and then therefore think thoughts about a specific person from that place. Okay. So let's agree today that we're going to stop manipulating your 3D reality, stop manipulating people with your words, bringing up the relationship talk, and trying to tell people how to treat you. Decide now that you decide how people treat you based upon how you treat yourself, your thoughts about yourself, and then the thoughts that you think about other people. Do it all. Okay. So the thing that I'm going to go into in the next video, which is next week, is what to do to get exactly what you want. But for now, let's focus on offloading and releasing and letting go of the whole thing about speaking, overly communicating, being overly transparent with your needs, right? We hear this whole thing in like the 20th century. Are we still in the 20th century? We are, right, guys? Oh my gosh. If I'm wrong, like, clue me in, because like, having a 1-year-old, I've lost kind of like, and I don't really mind, sense of time and space. Like, where are we? What day is it? Okay. It's a joke. All right. So we hear a lot about, I'm going to be fully transparent. I'm going to lay my cards on the table. I'm going to tell you everything. I'm going to be fully transparent, and communication is everything. Okay. I actually love the show Married at First Sight. If you haven't seen it, watch it. It's a great way to look at people and how they create their relationships, they create their realities. But in this show, I hear the same thing over and over and over again from certain men and certain women. Communication is everything. Communication is everything. You can't have anything unless you communicate it. Okay. And discussing things, coming to big milestones in your relationship and with your partner, they're all important, but we also don't want to be overly transparent and overly communicate also, because that doesn't allow things to happen. And then we're not experiencing life. We're trying to constantly set a boundary, manipulate something, tell somebody something, communicate something. I'm going to be transparent. I'm going to tell you what I need. I'm going to tell you what I feel. And that usually leads us to tell people how to treat us and tell people how we want them to feel about us or what we want them to do. Okay. Now you want to come into balance with these things. Like, yes, it is great to communicate with your partner about things that are worthwhile, and having those big conversations and little conversations, right? Like, you guys know, I am married. I have a husband. I have a son. My husband and I talk about lots of things. But the way that I don't approach my marriage is I'm going to be fully transparent about everything I'm thinking. I'm going to be fully transparent about everything I'm feeling. I'm going to tell you exactly what to do. I'm going to tell you exactly what's within me. And we're going to communicate all the time about everything. Like, for me, that sounds exhausting. For me, that sounds like, where's the fun? Where's the play? Where the heck is the spontaneity? And like, where's the flavor, right? And so I think we're both like that, because I'm like that in terms of just being in balance with things, right? We want to have fun. We want to be receptive. Also, if you're trying to manifest, which is most of my clients, being chosen, being pursued, being loved, being sought after, then what's the whole like talking about everything thing come from? Because that whole other paradigm, the other system where you are pursued, you are loved, it's all happening. It's like, it's in the flow and it's just here. And there's less to really talk about, because you're in the beauty and the abundance of the relationship and being in that place of self-confidence, self-esteem. Okay. So things to do for your manifesting, to sum it up, are to focus on you and the version of you that you want to be, that is loved, adored, cherished, and valuable. And then to focus on the version of your specific person from that place within. And you can't do one without the other, you guys. Okay. So please refer back to this video when you just need a pep talk, when you're trying to tell someone how to treat you, you're trying to manipulate or force something or overly discuss something in your reality. Because like, once you guys agree, it just doesn't get us what we want. Haven't you kind of noticed that? Sure, there are times where it's been helpful, but most of the time it's not really what we're about. And from the place also of consciously manifesting, you guys, what's the point? Or else why are we manifesting? Why are we thinking new thoughts, using our mental diet, using the super awesome tool of understanding that the world is a mere reflection of you, or it's you pushed out, right? Like, why even embrace those concepts if we're just going to go back to like telling everyone our value and worth? Okay. So let's just put a stop to it. And from that point, create the everlasting love, the connection, the commitment with your SP that you deserve. All right, you guys. So I intend that that this video makes you pumped up and amped about having to do less, right? So getting really excited and really just like relaxed in a juicy, wonderful place about like, oh my gosh, like I don't have to do all that anymore. I don't have to tell everybody everything. I don't have to tell people how to treat me. I got to turn it around and treat myself that way. All right. So I will see you in my next video, and make today awesome, you guys. Make this week awesome. And let's start off the season of summer and the season of just all of those beautiful, wonderful feelings together, feeling great and in our self-confidence. All right. See you guys soon. Bye.